Oh yes, a very beautiful morning to you, our esteemed viewers. I welcome you to Daily Digest on esteemed Radio Vision. Don't forget that we are located at Obokun Avenue in Elisha, Osun State, Nigeria. I am Chidima Abel. And of course, the Daily Digest is a program where we bring to you headlines across the different newspapers in Nigeria. Yes, I will be starting with a Punch. From the Punch this morning, over 1 million displaced households resettled in Borno. This is coming from the military. Over 1 million households displaced by years of insurgency have been resettled in their ancestral homes across parts of Borno State following sustained stabilization operations by troops of Operation Hadinkai. The theater commander, Operation Hadinkai, Major General Abdusalami Abubakar, disclosed this on Wednesday while briefing journalists during a media tour organized by the Defense Headquarters for Defense Correspondents in Maiduguri. According to him, the resettlement drive has enabled thousands of families to return to communities previously abandoned due to Boko Haram attacks, restoring livelihoods and socio-economic activities in the area. General Abubakar listed some of the resettled communities to include Malam Fatori, Kekeno, Malajamel, and Yewa, noting that Malami Fatori alone has witnessed phased resettlement effort involving over 1 million households. He added that Kukawa, once a ghost town at the height of the insurgency, is now bustling with economic activities, while Kekeno has also been successfully resettled. Get a full story waiting for you from the Punch newspaper headlines this morning. All right, moving ahead, still on the Punch. Kidnappers hold 166 Kaduna worshippers, demand 29 million naira deposit. Kidnappers hold 166 Kaduna worshippers, demand 29 million naira deposit from the Punch. Kumin Wali community in southern Kaduna has been thrown into panic following the mass adoption of 177 Christian worshippers, the second attack in a week. On Sunday, gunmen attacked 3 churches in the community and whisked away more than 100 worshippers. However, on Monday, the Kaduna State Government, Police Command, and Chairman of Kajuru Local Government Area dismissed the report as falsehood after Chairman, Northern Chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Joseph Hayab, confirmed the incident to journalists in Kaduna. False Public Relations Officer CSP Benjamin Hundeyin, however, confirmed the abductions late Tuesday on X, saying earlier comments by the Commissioner of Police, Kaduna State, CP Muhammad Rabiu, were not deniers of the incident, but a measured response, pending confirmation of details from the field, including the identities and number of those that were affected. On Wednesday, the report findings show that Kumin Wali residents had abandoned their homes while farms remained untended, with schools shut indefinitely. Linus Abu, a villager, told the Punch that the community had barely recovered from an earlier attack on January 11 when suspected armed Fulani militia kidnapped several residents. Yeah, that story is waiting for you. From the Punch, we get the full gist. Moving ahead now from the Vanguard. The Vanguard this morning. Kaduna abduction. Obasani assured victims will return safely, plus military base. Obasani assured victims will return safely, plus military base. Governor Obasani of Kaduna State has assured that all persons abducted during Sunday's attack on Kumin Wali village in Kajuru local government area will be rescued and reunited with their families. The governor gave the assurance on Wednesday when he led a high-powered delegation of senior government officials and security chiefs to the community to commiserate with the residents. He said the state government had been working round the clock with security agencies to secure the release of the abductees. The governor stressed that the number of abducted persons was immaterial, noting that government's responsibility remained regardless of the figures involved. He condemned the attack to politicize the incident, urging the public to focus on the sanctity of human life rather than statistics. Governor Sani also announced that the state government will bear the medical expenses of those injured during the attack. On long-term security measures, he disclosed plans to liaise with the Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, to establish a military base in Komin Wali, citing the community's proximity to banditry-prone areas. According to him, while insecurity along the Kaduna-Abuja Expressway has largely been contained, criminal elements have shifted their activities to hinterland communities. Still on the vanguard this morning, Ikeja Computer Village fire. Traders beg Sanwo-Olu for financial support. Traders beg Sanwo-Olu for financial support following the devastating inferno that gutted one commercial story building at Computer Village, Ikeja local government area of Lagos State. Affected traders have sent a SOS, save our soul, to the state governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for financial support to assuage their losses. Recall, the items worth several million naira were destroyed in the early hours of Tuesday when the fire gutted the building at Somoya Street in the Ikeja area of the state. The incident, which occurred past midnight, involved the building accommodating dealers in computers and accessories in the area. The entire top floor of the building was razed by the fire. According to reports, the fire was due to electrical surge following the restoration of electricity. There was no casualty recorded in the incident. Yesterday, when Vanguard visited the scene, scavengers were seen struggling to cut away some of the burnt items. Affected traders begged Sanwo-Olu, the heartbroken victims of the tragic incident, claimed they had lost almost everything they had. They said their losses include cash, personal gadgets, among others. The victims stressed the urgent need for fire safety measures in densely populated market areas like Ikeja Computer Village. One of the victims, who newly stocked the shop, Chooks, narrated to Vanguard. Get a full story waiting for you from the Vanguard this morning. You will see the full story. Now moving ahead. Still on the Vanguard this morning, losses to fraud in banks decline. CBN intensifies measures. CBN intensifies measures, unveils industry-wide war on e-fraud. Losses to fraud in Nigerian financial institutions declined to 25.85 billion naira, 51% year-on-year, from 52.26 billion naira in 2024. This comes as the Central Bank of Nigeria unveils an industry-wide offensive against rising digital fraud with the aim of reducing fraud response time to less than 30 minutes. Managing Director, Chief Executive, Nigerian Interbank Settlement System, NIBSS, Mr. Premier Oiwo, in a keynote presentation at the Nigeria Electronic Fraud Forum, NEFF, technical kickoff session held yesterday in Lagos, disclosed that the number of fraud cases declined by 4% to 67,518 cases in 2025 from 70,111 cases in 2024. Oiwo said that internet and mobile platforms remain the most targeted channels by volume, accounting for 27,460 and 22,470 cases respectively during the year. According to him, internet banking emerged as the most financially damaging channel, recording losses of 13.37 billion naira from just 4,507 cases. The data further showed that social engineering remained the most significant fraud threat in 2025, accounting for 47% of total fraud volume and 17.84 billion naira in losses. From the Vanguard, you will get a full story waiting for you. Now, moving on to The Nation. The Nation news headlines this morning. We will give graduates industry-ready skills. We will give graduates industry-ready skills. The federal government has expressed its readiness to equip graduates with practical industry-ready skills. The Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Alausa, stated this at a retreat for the Governing Council chairmen, commissioners of education, rectors, registrars, and bursars yesterday in Abuja. The retreat with the theme, Transforming Polytechnic Education in Nigeria, Innovation, Good Governance, and Sustainability for National Development, was organized by the Council of Heads of Polytechnics and Colleges of Technology in Nigeria. Alausa also announced a special tertiary education trust fund, TED fund, intervention to upgrade polytechnic engineering department with state-of-the-art equipment following similar interventions in medical colleges last year. The minister said this while the Federal Minister of Education was focused on revitalizing technical and vocational education and training. He said he called for a comprehensive transformation of Nigeria's polytechnic education, emphasizing innovation, good governance, and sustainability as key drivers for national development. From the Nation newspaper, you will get a full story. Now, moving ahead, still on the Nation newspaper this morning, moves to undermine Tinubu's re-election will fail, says APC chieftain. Moves to undermine Tinubu's re-election will fail, says APC chieftain. A chieftain of the All Progressives Congress in Ondo State, Chief Sophie Ugoji, has declared that schemes to frustrate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 2027 re-election bid are doomed to fail. He described them as unrealistic, driven by personal ambitions within the African Democratic Congress, ADC. In a statement, Ugoji said ADC's prominent figures were more focused on grabbing the party's presidential ticket than building a cohesive opposition. He said anything denying Tinubu a full 8-year tenure would be unjust, especially after former President Muhammadu Buhari completed his without Southwest resistance. From the Nation, you will get a full story. Moving ahead. Still on the Nation this morning, Obasanjo government inflated Mambila project cost by 11 billion naira, says witness. Obasanjo government inflated Mambila project cost by 11 billion naira, says witness. A witness narrated before the court yesterday how former President Olusegun Obasanjo ordered additional costs to be added to the Mambila Power Project contract sum. Assistant Commissioner of Police Omar Hussein Babangida, giving evidence in the trial of former Power and Steel Minister Dr. Olu Ogunloye, said Obasanjo directed Ogunloye to add 11 billion naira to the 6 billion naira allocated for the project in 2003. Ogunloye is being prosecuted by EFCC on an amended 7-count charge bordering on disobeying presidential directive, conspiracy, forgery, and receiving gratification before Justice Jude Ogwebuze sitting at Akpo. He is accused, among others, of conspiring with Leno Adesonya, Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of Sunrise Power and Transmission Company Limited, to forge a letter titled Construction of 3,960 megawatt Mambila Hydroelectric Power Station on a build, operate and transfer basis. Babangida, an investigator with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, said Obasanjo gave the directive to Ogunloye to add the 11 billion naira at a private meeting. Babangida stated that as president, Obasanjo's utmost desire was to kickstart the project, adding that he, former president, held a private night meeting with Ogunloye on May 20, 2003. The witness said the EFCC investigation revealed at the meeting the former president directed Ogunloye to add 11 billion naira to the already already appropriated 6 billion naira for the takeoff of the project. Get a full story from The Nation. It is waiting for you there. Now moving ahead to this day news headlines. Khan, initial police denial of worshippers' abduction. Troubling. Initial police denial of worshippers' adoption. Troubling. This is coming from Khan, Christian Association of Nigeria. Christian Association of Nigeria, Khan, yesterday said initial public denial of reports on the abduction of 170 worshippers in Komin Wali community, Kajuri local government area of Kaduna State, by the Nigeria police before any verification was not only troubling, but also generated confusion, heightened fear, and unfairly questioned the credibility of eyewitnesses who raised the alarm. 3 churches had been simultaneously attacked in the community last Sunday by gunmen who abducted 170 worshippers, while some escaped. But Kaduna State Commissioner of Police, Muhammadu Rabiu, said late Monday that police visited the community and there was no evidence of the attack. Rabiu dismissed reports of the attack as rumors sponsored by people who are not happy with the relative peace that Kajuru has been enjoying since the coming of his administration. Khan, in a statement on Wednesday, called for responsibility and caution in security communication after reviewing a subsequent press statement by the Nigeria police confirming the abduction of the 170 worshippers. The association said it recognized the challenges in verifying security incidents, especially in remote communities, but it said such challenges must not be used as excuses for misinforming the public, particularly when threats to human life were involved. In a statement by its national president, Archbishop Daniel Oko, the Christian body cautioned that in situations of that gravity, public communication must not appear dismissive of the suffering or fears of affected citizens. You will get a full story from this day. It is waiting for you. Moving ahead, still on this day this morning, to guard to investors. Do not write off Nigeria based on isolated security concerns. Do not write off Nigeria based on isolated security concerns. This is coming from Tugar to investors. Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tugar yesterday urged foreign investors not to judge Nigeria's prospect through the prism of isolated security incidents. Tugar said such cases did not reflect the reality of Africa's largest economy and its long-term investment fundamentals. Speaking to CNN on the sidelines of the ongoing World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, Tugar acknowledged Nigeria's security challenges, but he stressed that they were localized and being actively addressed by the government. He said the tendency to generalize insecurity across the entire country had been often led to exaggerated risk perceptions that obscured opportunities in key sectors. He urged the international community to rethink the way it saw Nigeria. The minister stated that Nigerians were among the continent's most heterogeneous people. He highlighted the country's improving microeconomic reforms and ongoing effort to strengthen governance by the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Tugar stated that while no country was immune to security concerns, investors should take a more nuanced view of Nigeria, assessing the country on its specific merits rather than broad assumptions. From this day, you will get a full story waiting for you. Now, moving ahead, we are still on this day news headlines this morning. Kekere Kun, Fagbemi, Fashola seeks stronger court administration. Get a full story. The stakeholders in the justice sector has advocated far-reaching reforms towards efficient court administration in the country. The stakeholders, which included the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekerekun, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi, and former Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola spoke on Wednesday in Abuja at the 2026 strategic retreat of the Committee of Chief Registrars of Nigeria. The retreat has a theme: strengthening court administration, financial accountability, and staff well-being for a more effective judiciary in Nigeria. Speaking at the occasion, the CJN described court administration as governance in action, stressing that weak administration leads to delayed justice, eroded public confidence, and reduced institutional effectiveness. According to Kekerekun, the judiciary's credibility depends not only on sound judgment, but also on transparent processes, prudent financial management, and the well-being of judicial staff. He emphasized that financial accountability is both a statutory and moral obligation essential to safeguarding judicial independence. Kekerekun stated that chief registrars occupy a position of profound responsibility as custodians of records and stewards of judicial resources. From this day, you will get a full story waiting for you. Moving ahead to Daily Trust. Daily Trust this morning. No appointments for non-APC members, Nentawe. No appointment for non-APC members, Nentawe. The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Professor Nentawe Yiwatada, has declared that political appointment following the 2027 general elections will be strictly reserved for party loyalists rather than technocrats or professionals. Speaking Tuesday night in Abuja at an event tagged Renewed Hope Promise Kept 2027 Meet and Greet Northwest Mobilization, organized by the Minister of State for Works, Bello Goronyo, Nentawe emphasized that governance is inherently political and appointees must actively support the party that brought them to power. A video of his statement went viral on Wednesday, rapidly circulating across social media platforms and generating intense debate among political commentators, party members, and civil society stakeholders nationwide. Reactions have ranged from support among party loyalists to criticism from analysts who fear it could undermine merit-based governance. According to Nentawe, all government appointees must be visible in grassroots politics and actively participate in party activities, stressing there was nothing like technocrat when it comes to political appointments. From this day, you will get a full story waiting for you. Now, moving ahead to Daily Trust. Daily Trust this morning. Court orders INEC to recognize Nenadi Usman leadership. Court orders INEC to recognize Nenadi Usman leadership. The Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission to recognize the Senator Nenadi Usman-led caretaker committee as the lawful leadership of the party. Delivering judgment on Wednesday, Justice Peter Lifu relied on April 4, 2025 decision of the Supreme Court to affirm Senator Usman, a former Minister of Finance, as the legitimate head of the party's caretaker committee pending the conduct of a national convention. The court directed INEC to forthwith recognize the Nenadi Usman-led caretaker committee as the only valid authority to represent the Labour Party. Justice Lifu held that the evidence before the court showed that Julius Abure's tenure as national chairman had elapsed, dismissing his argument that the dispute was an internal party matter and therefore non-justifiable. According to the court, the constitution of the caretaker committee was a necessity arising from the directive of the Supreme Court. Abure had earlier approached the Federal High Court seeking to validate his position as national chairman following his removal. From Daily Trust, you will get a full story waiting for you. And now with this is where we'll be wrapping up the show. Suicide bomber kills 5 soldiers in Borno State. Suicide bomber kills 5 soldiers in Borno attack. A suicide car bomber has rammed into a military convoy in the Timbuktu Triangle in Borno State, killing 5 soldiers and injuring unspecified number of troops. Security sources confirmed to Daily Trust that 2 senior military officers, a major and a lieutenant, were affected. The troops were returning from a clearance operation that successfully dislodged several insurgent camps and killed many of them when the attack occurred on Wednesday. He said that armored and logistics vehicles were destroyed when the explosives-laden van breached the convoy. The Timbuktu Triangle is the area where the terrorists ambushed the convoy of Brigadier General Musa Uba, captured and executed him. Army says terrorists suffered heavy casualty. Confirming the incident, troops of Operation Hadenkai said the bomber breached the defensive opposition, affecting some logistics platforms. According to the spokesman of the operation, Lieutenant Cole Obasani, some soldiers and members of the Civilian Joint Task Force paid the supreme price, while others sustained injuries. He, however, said that troops discovered mass graves containing an estimated 20 terrorist bodies killed during encounters with troops and buried by their cohorts. This is where we're wrapping up the show this morning. Thank you so much for staying with Esteem Radio Vision. Don't forget to leave a comment for us in the comment section. Like and share. Don't go anywhere because more programs will still be coming your way. Up next is the Confab. Stay glued on Esteem Radio Vision. At this point, I want to say a very big thank you to our CEO, in the person of Diki Michael Adeboya Shaolo, the founder of Eniakponle Foundation and Esteem Radio Vision. I also want to appreciate my producer, in the person of Ayomiko. And to you, our viewers, thank you so much. Until I come your way again, I still remain Chidima Abel. Bye for now.